Hi everyone, Matt here, and today, same day as the last video, I'm going to be playing PesterQuest, and we are going with Volume 5, Route 2. I have plenty of friends. You are learning more about yourself every day. For example, while you already knew that friendship was everything, you are now realizing that staying with your friends is not a priority. At least, that must be right, because you keep leaving friends and starting over again. Why are you doing this? Probably a deeply held value of some kind. That makes sense. Anyway, you're ready to meet more friends, and the only place you've seen new people recently has been on Jade's Dream Planet. You zap on over there. This time, something is different. It seems to be a different part of day than before, and the overhead clouds that previously served as fluffy ambient backdrop are now alive with images. Meteors striking a dark world, a planet covered in sugar mountains dotted with goofy giant teapots, a young gray-skinned alien girl running around catching frogs. Bleh. These must be the clouds Shades was referencing, the ones she said could never be wrong. Well, you can take audience from them, or guidance from them too. You've trusted more dubious things than clouds. You zone in on that frog girl with the short haircut and the red skirt. Time for the zappy thing. It's always night on Troll Planet, at least when folks are out and about. But it's not usually this dark. Confidently head around and start exploring your surroundings. Immediately run into a wall face first. Okay, you're getting your bearings now. You've ended up in some kind of closet. You refrain from making a hackneyed joke about it. They probably don't even have that cultural metaphor here. And the noise you elicited of something, an answering yelp of surprise in the room outside. You hear footsteps approaching you, and then someone yanks the door open. Hello? What the fuck? Opening the door has allowed a beam of bright sunlight to fall across your face. You feel instinctively that the light is something to avoid. You hold your hand out to shield your face, and you remember that your hands are also made of skin, and whimper. The heat is doing its best to fry you, like a vampire in a movie. You are sure that idle thought will not end up having any relevance to this troll girl's story whatsoever. What are you? Did you just wander in here, or what? Something like that, you tell her, cringing away from the light. You get the feeling this girl is not gonna fall for the old mailman gambit. Mail troll? You tell her you know one of her other friends. Who? Wait. Is it Carcat? Yes! I knew it. He makes friends with all kinds. Well, I obviously can't kick you out right now. You don't seem to be able to handle the sun. So I guess you better stick around until at least nighttime. You could easily zap to nighttime, but this is giving you an in. So instead you agree. No problem, you can just hang out in this closet. It's fine. It's a lovely closet. I know we just met, but you're being kind of weird. You hope it's the kind of weird that eventually becomes charming. You don't say that, though, just think it. You know the barrier between your words and thoughts is ambiguous at best, but for real. Anyway, you have no obligation to skulk around in my wardrobe-defying assets chamber. I have a solution. Pulling the shades, maybe? No. Why would I deprive my plans of life-giving sunlight for a fragile-skinned creature I've never met before? It is another solution. A minute later, you are dressed in a floor-length gown of emerald velvet. With long sleeves, a high neckline, and a dramatic hood to pull over your head. The dress does nothing for the heat, but it effectively shields you from the sunlight. There you go. All swallowed up like a baby, you joke. The troll just gives you a level look. Clearly you've stumbled on a cultural misalignment. Even though she's the one who hasn't even heard of a baby. She stares at you until you start to feel embarrassed for knowing things that she doesn't know. She is very good at staring contests. What an amazing potential friend. Now, out of the closet, you know that that joke won't land either. You look around the room. It is indeed covered with plants, as well as colorful bolts of fabric and half-finished sewing projects. Unlike Rose knitting disarray, it does not give the impression of someone that has difficulty finishing things. This troll's room gives the impression of someone who enjoys, even excels, at having multiple irons in hot places. Or at least she thinks she does. She seems to have just been on her computer thing when you zapped in, because her chat client is flashing insistently. You try to peer at the open window, but she hits a button that makes the projection disappear, a delicate green flashing rising to her cheeks. No need to look at that. Guiltily, you remember spying on Rose. When she called you out, you thought for a second that your chances of being her friend had run out. Like if there was a universe where you became her friend. And one where you didn't. You'd stumbled clumsily into the wrong one. The bad one, if you will. But luckily, everything turned out fine. Maybe you could get away with it again? Plus, this troll doesn't even know about your powers yet, not like Rose did. She would have no reason to suspect you. Spy on the troll's communications. You excuse yourself to the, you don't know what they call here, the necessaries. You wave your hand in a vaguely embarrassed way and the troll gets it. Out of her sight, you zap back to a few minutes ago, just outside the door to a room you're in now. Wait until you hear the thump of yourself arriving in the closet and the troll abandoning her desk. And you quickly zap into the room and read her current chat. It just cannot escape my notice that the last 3 times you've contacted me, it was to ask if I finished your dress yet. Under these circumstances, I find it trying to believe that you wanted for no particular reason. I wish you would just tell me why it's so important. Of course you do! Fussy Fangs always has a reason for everything. Maybe I just want a present for my Moirail? Did you think of that? Or are you too busy fussing around in your fuss clock? Fuzzlock? Maybe I'm being nice? Fuss block. Or did you not notice, or did you not think I can be nice sometimes? I know you can be. And you want, sort of. Here, we are Moirails again now then. Yesterday you said defining our relationship was something only lame dorks would do. Yeah, and my Moirail is a super lame dork. That's you, Fang-Faced. It's just that I can't help but notice that I'm your Moirail again right now. When you want something from me. You notice a lot, don't you? Always noticing something. I bet you would be shocked to know how much you don't see. You don't even know half of what I have going on. If I have ever pretended to know what is going on with you, please allow me to apologize for such a gross misrepresentation of my reality. Whatever. Can you just tell me if you finished it yet? Hello? Kanya? The lock ends there. You sat back before past you is done changing into the dress and re-enter the room. The troll Kanya is back at her lunchbox computer, typing furiously. You have to handle this situation delicately. She can't know you were spying on her. Since you've already said that you know Karkat, you hedge your bets on all of them sharing the same friend group. You ask her carefully if she happens to know your other friend as well. Arachnid's grip. The little green flush darkens Kanya's cheeks again. She bites her lip, showing one kind of adorable fang. Yes, I know her. Why? You are sure that helping Kanya figure out her situation with this girl is the key to earning her friendship. A big, juicy interpersonal conflict to solve has been dangled in front of you, and nothing makes friends more reliably. Then again, You don't really know anything about this other troll. You don't even know her name, just her handle. Can you really be of use to Kanya, especially when your knowledge of the girl was based on the foundation of lies? Is this the right way to go? Offer to help her with her AG. Gesture wildly, you and this girl, whose name you do totally know, go way back. In fact, if Kanya wants some help figuring things out with her, you could definitely help. You're an observant person. This part is true, and you want to help her. This too. Kanya thinks this over, looking skeptical. What could you do to help? She's just impossible. Everyone knows that already. I'm not breaking new ground about Veriska here. Veriska, that must be your name. Despite Kanya's outward frustration, you keep sensing some kind of guilty affection here. You don't know what Moirel is? How could you? You've never heard that word before. But it conjures a feeling inside you. A vague sense of warmth and comfort. And for some reason, our dark room and the smell of popcorn. Anyway, it's clearly some kind of intimate relationship. And Kanya's feelings are all wrapped up in it. And you know what to do in that kind of situation. She needs to tell Veriska how she feels. Expect Kanya to brush this off. She hasn't exactly been Miss Emotional Openness so far, and she looks like she's about to, but then she wavers. To your surprise, she lets out a heavy sigh, her shoulders slumping. What would be the point? She's not even into the relationship we have now. There's no way she'd want to take it in a more crimson direction. Clearly, these feelings have worn her down so much, her spiky differences are weakened. You don't want to cheer on someone's vulnerabilities, but hey, well, blah blah blah, but, it's hard to forge a friendship without them. You ask if she's sure about that. Well, no. I can't ever tell if she's sincere. She makes serious things go into jokes and jokes into big dramas. I thought she started calling me her Moirel as a joke, but she told everyone else about it too. You didn't even ask me why I went. And now I don't know how to talk to her about it. Every conversation we have just it's so antagonistic. But I'm not interested in that quadrant with her. Sometimes I feel like our relationship is just an aggregation of shallow and insincere hostilities. Despite the unfamiliar alien words, this teen romantic flailing is common among all species. You nod sympathetically, but you point out Kanya isn't happy now. So what would she have to lose if she pressed the issue? Kanya gives you that even scathing gaze again. And what is your personal interest in my quadrants? Karkat's friend. Whoops, you pushed it too far. All your recent successes have made you cocky. Revert to barefaced honesty and tell her you want to get to know her better. I have plenty of friends already, and I don't even like some of them. I will think about your unsolicited and unwelcome advice. Advice from a stranger whose presence you are tolerating solely to not be responsible for the death of an innocent is well known to be the best kind of advice. That's about the best you can ask for. You shut up and sit quietly while Kanya goes back to her activities. Sewing and tending to her plants with a big chainsaw she seems to have pulled out of nowhere. Finally, she huffs a sigh and throws the chainsaw down on the floor. It disappears again, but a little gold tube rolls away from where it landed. Kanya stalks back to her magic computer lunchbox. She is emanating such a determined air that you don't dare to address her. Maybe she's forgotten about you. If so, it's to your advantage, because Kanya sets up because Kanya's setup projects her windows in a very visible way, and she didn't tell you not to look this time. Grim Oxylatrix began trolling Arachnid's grip. You know how you basically refuse to be straightforward with me? You know how you... And I use this metaphor with full consciousness of its on-the-nose nature. Always weave a web of intricate emotional misdirection and basically act in the most infuriating way possible. What? Slow down. What are you talking about? Why did you start calling me your moirail? Was it because you actually had those feelings for me? Or did it suit your purposes somehow? What if I started calling you my mate prit? Would that make it reality? Is that how it works? Is that how it works? You just say things and assume they will happen, like you said, instead of talking about it with the other person involved. That time I meant you in an abstract and general sense, not specifically you. Wait, are you saying you want to be mate spritz? You know I'm one of the few of us who still likes you. You know everyone wonders why I still talk to you at all. Sometimes I do too. And after everything you've done, I think in this situation the evidence for strong feelings on my part is compelling. I do not think our so-called moral agents is satisfying enough to account for my continued attachment to you. Any outside observer could perceive as much. Whoa. Whoa. I think there was a confession somewhere buried under all that insulting language. You know what this means? You know what, meanie things? Let's do it. Let's be mate spritz. Do not mock me. I'm not. Jeez, do you know how unfair you're being? Vriska, be more straightforward. Vriska, talk clearly about your feelings. Define our relationship. Then when I do it, this is what I get. Let's flip red, why not? Wait, really? Yes! Kanya slams lunchbox shut and turns to you. She's even more flustered than she was before. You can't tell if she's freaked out or thrilled. Maybe even. She doesn't know. Listen, I have to go somewhere. Oh god, the cat is in the closet. You can let yourself out, right? You're not stealing anything from me. You open your mouth about to suggest that you could teleport her where she needs to go, but she rushes past you and down the stairs. Then she's gone. Dang, you've been getting really good mileage lately out of being the person to unite distant friends. That was a goddamn stupid independent action. You get the feeling following her wouldn't go over well either. Kanya probably needs some privacy right now. A lesser friendship aspirant might give up at this point, but your unique skills have honed in on on one thing. This relationship is happening because of your advice. Surely, once things settle down, Kanye will remember this and turn to you, ready to embrace you and rain down thanks and praise for your good works. You're not about to wait it out here, you zap it ahead a couple days. No Kanye. Nothing in this room indicates that Kanye has even been back here yet. Try a couple more days. Still no Kanye. Zap again. Now you're a week out, and the brown edges of some of these leaves suggest that Kanye has been at her new girlfriend's house this entire time. You're about to give up when you hear a door slam downstairs. Kanye storms up the winding staircase, stopping dead when she sees you. Oh great, just what I need. Someone I don't know here in a delicate emotional time to witness my compromised state. Whenever I am on the precipice of romantic disaster, I always think to myself, I wish a deformed stranger was in my house refusing to leave. Just bear witness to my inelegant suffering. Okay, wow, that was harsh. You're beginning to think your strategy is not going to pan out. Never one to be deterred easily, you cautiously ask her if she wants to talk about it. She puts her face in her hands. You know what? You're probably the only person who thought this was a remotely good idea, and therefore probably the only one I can complain to. Everyone else saw this coming, I'm sure. As outcomes go, this one was not particularly stealthy. And she looks up, she doesn't look angry anymore. Just upset. Oh no. I do not know why I thought that in becoming my mate spirit, she would somehow start acting differently than the way she always has. Relationships are hard. Relationships are hard and nobody understands. Well, no. I mean, they are a very common form of social interaction. I think most people, especially past the age when their genetic contribution is legally required. Understand? Her face turned culling. Okay, never mind that. You were trying to do a thing and it clearly didn't work. So things didn't work out with Veriska? Veriska. Words. You could say that. At first it was everything I wanted. She's right, you know. She can be nice sometimes. And then she just started ordering me around, like I had to do what she said just because I was her mate spirit. Like, maybe the reason she agreed in the first place was because she wanted that leverage. You know she's upset, but she isn't getting visibly emotional. Instead, as she talks, her eyes narrow and her voice grows icy with anger. She grows very still, her muscles held taut. And she kept trying to use me to get back in with our friends who sensibly dropped her already, like Karka and Terezi. Although I can't believe I still have any cash with them after so obviously taking leave of my senses enough to date her, even Terezi wasn't stupid enough for that. It felt like she just wanted me to like her so she could exploit me. Maybe because she doesn't have enough other friends. So she had to get the most out of me. Her voice is trembling with anger now. Geez, that's rough. Honestly, it sounds to you like Kanya dodged a bullet. When you first saw Kanya had a crush on this girl, you kind of assumed that someone as composed and rational as Kanya would be drawn to someone who would compliment her well. But you've just watched her walk into a train wreck. Well, encouraged her to. It's probably good she broke up with Veriska. I didn't. Oh, well, but you're right. Jesus. She stalks over to her husk top and throws the open so violently it nearly breaks. She opens the window and starts typing. Her claws hit the keys so hard that one of them pops off and flies to the ground. Grim Olatrix begin trolling Arachnid's grip. You know, Veriska, I didn't just want to date you. I wanted to feel the same things I felt and treat me like a mate spirit. And whatever this is, it isn't what I wanted. Excuse me? What are you saying? But Kanya slams the screen down and turns away. Then she puts her hands over her face and bursts into tears. She can't help but feel a little awkward. There. Kanya glares at you. You know this is your fault, right? I do not think you have shown yourself to be competent enough in this area to try and fix things now. Can you please just leave me alone? Yeah, you're not going to be able to turn this around. Leaving now is probably the best thing you can do for Kanya now. You nod sadly and zap the fuck out of there. You didn't help. Alright, let's back off now. No reason, you say? Just curious. Kanya gives you a suspicious look. Okay. Well, I'm kind of in the middle of something. You can just stay a while until... You can just while away the time until it gets dark. Sure. You watch her for a few minutes as she finishes up her conversation, then starts working on things around her room. But having seen what you've seen, you are determined to find some way to help her. If you can't fix her interpersonal problems, maybe you can figure out something else she'd enjoy. Filled with the investigative spirit, you start to gather evidence. You start to snoop. Spying got you this far. Spying is great. You rifle through Kanya's bookshelf. She has a number of sewing pattern books, which you assume must have some kind of whimsical, gruesome twist congruent with the rest of the world building on the planet, but pretty much just look like sewing pattern books. There's one thing on the shelf in your own language. It's not a book, but a stack of printed out pages bound together in a distinctive homemade way. It says Superb Beta Walkthrough at the top and is covered with familiar, erudite prose. I'm pretty sure the events described in this moment never happened in the timeline you're currently making, but maybe whatever source Kanya got from this is not bound strictly to one timeline. There are a number of books featuring shining white figures, mostly women, with prominent fangs and variously colored blood dripping from their cruel and elegant mouths. They are all dressed up in an explosion of brightly colored fabrics. Something about their sparkle strikes you as deeply, strangely familiar. You must just be thinking of vampires. There's no reason you would know anything about whatever the rainbow blood imbibing troll equivalent was. Most of these covers feature a swooning troll of varying genders clearly about to have their throat torn out sexily. Many of the rainbow vampires being menaced by brave heroes, all wielding chainsaws. A loud buzz makes you look up. You can't help but notice that Kanya is talking to parries with a large chainsaw of her own. Okay, you're putting this all together. The bright colors around her house, the choice of weapon, the love of sunlight, Kanya's heart's desire is clearly to date a sexy vampire. Maybe that's what AG is. You wonder if you could make this happen for her, maybe on this planet. It's not just fancy. Clear her throat to get Kanya's attention, and then casually wonder aloud if Alterna has any kind of non-living creatures. Oh, you mean the undead? Yes, the undead. Where might one find the undead? It is not difficult. They tromp past my hive and their hordes every day, slavering and so on, trying to get in sometimes. It's all coming together. That must be the root of Kanya's fascination. You start to form a plan. For the next few hours, you keep a keen eye trained on the window. Sure enough, within an hour, a group of strange, shambling creatures lurches into view. You yell and point out the window, drawing Kanya's attention. Then you zap yourself out there in front of the horde. Now that you're close up, you can see that these guys are not exactly debonair creatures of the night from Kanya's book covers. They are more like zombies. Big, slow, stumbling things. Half of them are falling apart. Still, needs must. You are going to net one of them for Kanya. You stand your ground as they lurch towards you, trying to select the most alluring. Suddenly, Kanya is at your side. Out of breath from running, she is wielding her chainsaw. Are you actually bereft of sense? You don't fight the undead. This is suicidal. You're trying to fight them, but there's no time to explain that because they attack you anyway. A great monstrous arm backhands you to the ground, and her claws tear through your gown and into your shoulder, lifting you by it. The creature opens a mouthful of more teeth than you thought could fit inside there. Then you are falling. You hit the ground and roll, dirt grinding into the wounds on your arm. The top half of the creature lands next to you. Twitching slightly, Kanya's chainsaw gleams with its black blood. She twirls and bisects another undead thing, but then a third bear hugs her from behind and lifts her, its maw opening wide. You scramble to your feet and throw yourself at Kanya, grabbing her kicking legs and squeezing your eyes shut to concentrate. You zap. Please don't let the monster have come with you. You open your eyes. The monster did not come with you. Only its arms did. Kanya shakes herself a little, free from their disembodied embrace. Blood pools on her carpet. She does something to get rid of her chainsaw, and suddenly she's holding a tube of lipstick, which she opens. She slicks a fresh coat of black onto her lips. You slowly catch your breath. You're about to offer an apology, but something makes you pause. Kanya is staring at the pools of blood. She cautiously, guiltily, leans down and swipes a finger in the mess. Then she brings it to her mouth and delicately licks. Blech. She makes the face and spits out blood. Then she looks at you, flushing emerald with embarrassment. Oh, you think you made a mistake. Kanye doesn't want to date a vampire. She wants to be a vampire. Pretend you did not see that. Smile cautiously. It's okay, you tell her. You're embarrassed yourself. You're embarrassed yourself by your foolish actions. Yes. Why did you do that? Also, how did you teleport? We will be coming back to that one, do not mistake me. But I can't understand why anyone would run straight into a horde of undead. You look down. Well, it's just that when she said undead, you were picturing something else. Another kind of creature that was dead, and now isn't. And is a little more appealing. Understanding dawns. Oh, I see. Well, that's understandable. Vampires are just so cool. They're so cool and hot, and it would make sense for anyone to want to be one. I don't know what a vampire is, but I believe that we are on the same page. Maybe I misjudged you. Perhaps you have greater intelligence and finer taste than I originally feared. Maybe, you say, and you bet anyone with taste would find Kanye's daring, unconventional, aesthetic intriguing. Even someone like the tentacle therapist. Kanye freezes. What? How do you know? Did you just... who is that? She clears her throat uncomfortably. Whoever that is, I hope you are right. And also, well... She looks embarrassed again. Thank you for saying so. You nod, wondering if you should say more, but you should keep that friend's secrets. Just like you are going to keep Kanye's vampire fantasies secret. Because that's what friends do. Bonded for life. And then, it's time to not spy on their communications. No, even if you don't get caught, it's just not a good way to begin a friendship. Much fairer to start on even footing. Besides, you already have an in. You ask the troll how she knows Karkat. She looks bored by this conversation starter. Sorry, bud. I was actually kind of busy when you came in. I'm not going to consign you to fiery death outside in the light, but I'd appreciate some personal time. Sure, you say, of course. The troll gives you a suspicious look until you turn away enough that she can be assured of privacy. She goes right back to chatting with her friends. After a while, she gets up and starts working on the dress she's sewing. She keeps getting frustrated, ripping it out and redoing it to get it perfect. She's not being rude to you, but she's ignoring you. You attempt to engage a few more times. She keeps answering politely, but she just refuses to be pulled into shenanigans from which a lasting friendship could form. After several hours, the sun slips below the horizon and leaves the world in twilight. Troll girl yawns. Well, it should be safe for you to leave now. Goodbye. She nicely but firmly directs you out the door. Polite goodbye. Shoo shoo. That was all the endings. Pretty sure. For Route 2. And wow, this video is even 4 minutes long, surprisingly. It gets shorter and shorter, I guess. Anyways, that will be all for this time on PesterQuest. I might record another video today, but don't count on it, in case you're seeing this before I post the video and whatnot. Anyways, if you like this video, give it a like. Check out more of my content. Make sure to check the other PesterQuest videos. If you haven't, there should be a playlist somewhere on the screen. Probably same as last time. But yeah, that will be all for this time on PesterQuest. Next time we will return with Volume 6.